What came first, the lighter or the match? Mike Lynch, British Bill Gates, sinks on a yacht, and one of us gets turned down by a sex robot. That and much more today on today's podcast. Welcome back to Three Person Circle, everybody. It's been a while. We've got a lot to talk about, and I'm excited that we're back with all the boys. Derek, Dax, and Tep here. How are you boys doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, peachy, man. Peachy.
Enjoying
this nice Friday.
Okay, I'll start with the sex robot. That was actually an idea I had for a skit. I thought it would be funny if you had a thing where it was like a short little like skit, like SNL style, and the whole thing was about someone pays for a sex robot and then gets turned down by it.
There is an SNL sketch with a robot. Have you seen that one with The Rock? Where The Rock has to make like this. There's like an evil person's convention, and The Rock makes this robot that diddles kids.
What? I think I'm gonna have to edit that out.
Oh yeah, you actually will have to edit that out.
Probably not. I mean,
no, it's not. If it was on YouTube, you would. I don't think
right,
Spotify matters, but YouTube, yeah,
Okay.
it's true. That's so true.
We good?
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
one of the podcasts I listen to. They had all this thing about on it. And the thing, literally, the guy was like, you can listen to it on my Patreon. This podcast, honestly, is not going to be that good to listen to. And I had to just stop because there was so much. There was just like, doot.
Oh, really? Because it just kept getting
on
bleeped out?
YouTube. On YouTube, I think if you say, well, they always say SA, or you even have like the words or anything to do with that, or it instantly gets taken down.
Well, this instantly just got demonetized. This whole first 30 minutes, 2.5 minutes. It's not too late to turn back at this point.
No, it's no. Once you start recording, it's on.
You know, you can just press pause, right?
No.
Dude, what's up, man? It's been a few weeks. Like, how long has it been since we actually got together?
I'm trying to think.
Down?
So, okay, we did Nick podcast, then your
golf.
Then golf.
So we did that a week after. So the 9th was my engagement party. So the 8th plus Evan. So the last time we potted together was the 15th.
15th, which was with Nick. Right?
August, yeah.
And
we couldn't even put that one out.
Ago.
That's a long time ago. Yeah, well, that was a shame. We couldn't put that one out. That was like, unless you're an audio editing master, I don't think that's salvageable, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it sucked because that conversation was sweet, man.
Yeah, like me and Tep, we had it. So I had it on this line where you could like kind of hear things, but then it would just start playing like, as you talk, you're like, oh, you can't have that. But yeah, no, I've been, honestly, Neve's parents have been here, so I've just kind of been...
How long have they been here for?
Her mom's been here 3 weeks and just left, and her dad was here for a week. And then I'm trying to think what else. I feel like there was basically, the Nick's thing didn't happen, it was your engagement party, and then...
We golfed.
And
then I haven't seen you since.
Yeah, and then since then I've just been hanging with
the weekend after, did you go to Penticton? That wasn't the weekend after, right?
No, the weekend after was... I can't remember what happened. Then the weekend after that, I was away camping for kids.
Right, no, this was the timeline. Okay, it all sets into place now. We did Nick, we golfed. Mm-hmm. The week after, you guys went camping, but I was in Calgary for Zach's.
Yes.
And then last week, the 28th,
I was in Penticton.
You were in Penticton.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then that coincides exactly with Neve's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good seeing Neve's mom. She's a hardcore Scouser. Like, hardcore. She has the Liger Bird tattoo on her back.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to see her, and she's like a great nana, and so it's good to have them come by because they love the baby so much and all that. So yeah, we did. I'm trying to think what we did with him. We did some crazy stuff. We ended up seeing my friend's show. He was in Theater Under the Stars as the main character in School of Rock.
Oh, nice, man. What? Over in Kits?
At Malcolm Bowl.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Stanley Park. Yeah, so he goes like this. Like, Colin, he's this dude that I work with, and he's a nice dude, like, just really low-key. And then he's like, yeah, like, I'm trying out for this play and all this stuff. And I knew he was in theater because his wife, or his fiancée, is Hermione Granger in Harry Potter, the musical in Toronto.
His wife is... Watson?
No,
a musical in Toronto. I thought he made that clear.
Can you imagine all of a sudden, like, yo, I'm hanging out with Emmy Watson?
This whole time, for as long as I've known you, you've just had access to Emmy Watson and Daniel Radcliffe. Speaking of Colin, did you see that dude that went to our school apparently? Or how crazy
Brendan
is that?
McBride,
No, Colin McBride. Don't throw that guy. Brendan McBride is the other brother. Is it Brendan Colin McBride?
No, Brendan McBride is the one. Yeah.
Okay.
And
you went to school with him, right?
Yeah, I actually hung out with him.
Like, you're like hung out, like, I'm friends with him?
No. I wouldn't say we weren't friends, though. Like, we were just, like, neutral. So he, like, basically, Mark O'Connor, myself, and Matt Epic were a crew. And we would all... This is an elementary school. And then Mark O'Connor's mom was best friends with the McBrides.
Okay.
So he was a year older, and he'd always come over. And he was a weird dude. I'll just straight up...
Did he go to our high school or just elementary school?
Just elementary school.
Okay.
He was just always in trouble. He was that kid that was always in trouble. And, like...
Yeah.
Like, it was like whenever, I was like when you're younger, there's the kid that, like, is always, like, drinking and before everyone drinks and doing drugs before everyone does. Like, he was just always that guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fucked, though. That sucks.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the videos that he... I honestly, when I see news like that, I read it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be bothered. And I think some people deep dive it because, peripherally speaking, we might have connection to him.
Yeah.
But some of that stuff is crazy.
I mean, I didn't watch it. I've just been so unplugged from a lot of that stuff, and I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard that he was, like, having a psychotic break or something.
Yeah. I didn't read too much. I just read what happened. And then he got arraigned, and apparently he cried in jail, or he cried in court. But they talked about it a little bit in our group chat last night. Our justice system is so screwed, man. Like, I understand the point that obviously we need to have, like, a mental institute, and how Riverside closed down and it put out a lot of these people into our streets, but the stuff that people can perform here and yet such a light slap on the hand for and be back out doing stuff. Yes, I get there's a portion of, like, rehabilitation and mental, recovery, but some of this stuff is just inexcusable. You can't have some guy walking around decapitating people and taking their hands off.
Yeah, well, that's how I kind of feel too with all that. Is like I don't know, mental illness. At what point is it like you're kind of just like you're clearly mentally ill if you're cutting people's hands and stabbing them? Like, you just are, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't really buy into that, like, that part of it as much as I think that's obviously the issue.
Yeah.
It is. It's just I'm kind of like I don't really have any sympathy. Maybe you have to keep him away from the normal prison population because he's mentally ill. But I don't really think there should be any, like, oh, we gotta take care and be kind to this. I'm like, no, because there's a lot of mentally ill people that would never do that.
Yeah, I don't want those people going back out. You know? There is a form. Like, I don't think incarceration should always be the answer. Yeah. But I also think, like, certain crimes mean hard time. Yeah. I don't think you could kill someone and rehabilitate and be out in 10, 15 years. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, and I wonder too. So I don't know too much about it. I don't look too much, but I think someone in our chat said that he was yelling Heil Hitler or something, which to me screams you've been on the internet a lot and you're probably done a lot, like, I'd assume cocaine or, like, some drugs where you went into psychosis and then you have some mental issues, like,
unless he wasn't.
That would be that would be fucked up.
Because that's been circulating the internet a lot lately, like anti-Semitism. A lot of, like, I've been seeing a lot of, like, Hitler was right, apologize to him.
Yeah,
type of rhetoric. It's getting crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I have such mixed feelings on that. Like, I've heard things that, like, what you're seeing is, like, the balancing of the internet, and it was what it was describing as like, you can't just have, like, for example, the West was always in such an Israel, like, perspective, and so, like, now you're seeing the other side of it, so it makes it seem like that it's so crazy either way, because, like, that's kind of how you balance it, is you show it, but you need more, like, neutral perspectives, because I don't really know who's sitting there and says, like, you should be saying sorry to Hitler. Like, I don't know.
Also, to a certain extent, though, too, there is so much of a rabbit hole that's occurring in the internet these days. People spend so much time fully plugged in and deep diving certain things now that I feel like you can find agreement and an echo chamber for any of your ideas. I could justify anything at this point. I feel like if I just Google the right thing, it's pretty insane, and nobody fact checks anymore either.
Well, that's what I've found is, as I've got away from social media and started reading, is it's really interesting because social media, you don't get any information from, like, the stupid stuff because there's super small bouts of information, whereas when you read a book, you have, like, the smallest nugget of something that you want to know about, and then you read, like, 300 pages of it, so you get, like, a good understanding. Whereas I feel like social media right now, or like news, we'll say, let's even leave social media, just news is very much like a really broad, intense topic, and then they give you like the smallest little piece of information.
But so that's also part of what I think is really a problem here is people like to title read now too, or the excerpt read.
That's why I stopped on social media, because I was doing that.
So you'll see the title,
like,
you'll see the excerpt, and you'll be like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Or you'll read an article that, let's face it, there's not very many objective articles these days. I mean, you think there are, but every writer is based on subjection in any capacity. And they're writing based on their feelings. So you're hearing or reading one part, and maybe they've only researched that one part. A lot of people don't do their own diligence to research the other half as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking of it. I feel like a journalist, we have to make it like a pro athlete. Like it's like the most elite person, and you get paid really well. But the problem, like, so it like, it makes it so you have to be really good at journalism to be these like sources. But the problem within that is that you're still like, it's just someone's perspective on things, which is always like tough. But I feel like we have to make like a higher standard for what is, like, I should be allowed to just say whatever I want, and then you just know, you're like, who the fuck is this schmuck? Like, why would you listen to him, right? Yeah. But we have to I feel like make like a hierarchy that you can get to where you're like, when this person says it, this is true. But I don't know how like, it's just a thought. I don't know how you would do that.
Well, you know, the other thing that I find that's super hard about the climate that we're in now too, and it's similar to what you're talking about, how, you know, we should have a journalist that whatever they say is true. That in and of itself has a fallacy to it, because what if that person, everybody now knows this guy is true? When does he start to break that line? And
Absolutely.
And there's always going to be that. Yeah. But I also find part of it too is the world's climate, where people want information as quick as possible without having to do work either. Like, take away news, period. There's so many people that can't watch a movie or watch a TV show or watch a game 100%. Without, like, you're watching something and all of a sudden you're on your phone. Yeah. Or like, hey, read this book, and they're like, oh, I want to read a whole book.
100%.
Like, can I put an audiobook in, right?
Yeah.
Or like, people have no time now without automatically, as soon as something turns on and I want to be engaged with you, your automatic like response for any lag time of us hanging out is, I'm going to pull my phone out now to just distract myself from the silence that's happening between you and I.
Absolutely. It's so weird. I've noticed this so much. I go into McDonald's every morning for a coffee before work, and I go in and people order food, and I only get coffee. I don't eat the breakfast. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't eat breakfast ever. I'm not like being snobby against McDonald's, but I just get a coffee. And so I go coffee, and they know me so well that as soon as I walk in, someone's already making my coffee for me, and I just pay and get it right away.
Yeah.
And in the small time that takes, I'm watching people, they're waiting for their food, and it's not taking very long. It's like McDonald's. They're just like, I'll take this and this, and they stand aside. Everyone always is just on their phone, like flicking around. And
yeah,
like,
man.
Yo, that's so whack that you actually have to be on your phone checking something as you wait for McDonald's, which is like, take seconds / what could possibly be need to seen in those few seconds? What possibly could you have seen?
I'm really bad for it as well too. I'll check my phone periodically. It's a tick, you know, it's a tick at this point. I'll pull it out. But when I become self-aware of it, it becomes hyper awareness for me, where I start picking up everywhere. I'm like, okay, I have to actually put my phone somewhere, or else I'm just going to be like instinctively putting my phone up. So what was actually really cool when I went and visited Zach, I don't know if you notice whenever we do visit him, but his kids have screen time limitations, right? Okay. You know, if he wants them to do something, like they can do whatever they want, but they can't be on their phones or on the computer or TV, right? If we want to do something, Zach will go, hey, like, kids, you can have screen time now, and they'll go like crazy, right? Because they can watch TV. But because they weren't on their phones this whole time, I actually put my phone aside for huge pockets of time while I was there.
Yeah.
And when you're actually engaging with people that are engaging with you back, like, Ben doesn't have anybody to text. So when he wants to hang out, he'll pull out a game, and like, you'll play a game with him, and the whole time you're engaged, and you don't think about your phone.
Yeah,
it's really crazy to think. You just need the reciprocal action
like
from the person you're with.
Well, that's I listened to Klaus Schwab's book, and I still can't figure out how they did this, but there's a study that he talks about in it where people like my phone just being here right now, let alone face up in my eye view, instantly it's changing how we talk. And then if I put my phone over there, it still is affecting us. It has to actually be like out of sight, out of mind. And I think what it has to do with is like the thing of like you're always like this, like periodically checking to see if your phone has something, or you have those like ghost ticks and stuff. Because I totally agree with what you said. As I'm just gonna put this away. It is really fucked. I don't know, man. I think I've been saying this for a while now, and I keep saying this. I'm not immune to it. I'm like super addicted to all this stuff.
Oh, me too.
It's not like I'm ever saying this like, yo, you fools. I'm like, yo, man, this is fucked up. But I think that we're in like a severe epidemic or pandemic, whatever you want to call it.
But you know, at least we're trying.
Absolutely. That's all you can ask.
I don't have notifications for anything except for my phone calls and text messaging.
Same.
But even at this point, I actually have mute almost everybody except for, because you know how you can have a list of certain people that their text will pop up.
Yeah.
So I have a list of like certain people that'll pop up. Otherwise, I have to legitimately open my phone, open up my text, and see who's texted me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want I already have the tick of just instinctively opening, looking through, whatever. I don't want the tick of this is ringing and now I have to pick it up because it's ringing.
Exactly. Know? Absolutely. I think the thing I'm most addicted to, or like that gives me my tick, is notifications. Like Instagram, when I used to have it, you know, the stories, how they had the circle around them.
You'd have to clear them, right?
I had to clear them, and I literally by the end was going like this, holy, just to get through them. And it's like you're not even looking at them, you're just literally like in some fucked up mental loop.
Turn off your notifications, man. When you go to the gym, do you work out with your phone?
Yes, I have it for music. How do you? Do you not use music?
I use it for music. I actually have a dedicated so there's an iPhone that I had from last time that has no texting capabilities. It has a little bit of Wi-Fi, right? That could operate as my music phone, but I just think back to when I first started working out with Nick. First of all, I wouldn't work out with music unless it was cardio.
That's insane.
So if I was in the gym, the phone would go in the locker. It wouldn't get touched. But I also remember being able to have like a shuffle. So you could put your phone away and then you would have an actual MP3 to listen to. And that doesn't exist anymore. You can't find like MP3 players. Because most people are like, why would you buy an MP3 player when you can put that in a phone?
Like it's kind of like the what's the iPhone before it was an iPhone? The iPod Touch.
iPod Touch.
Yeah. That was actually so sick. The like thinnest little like thing. I don't know. I'm really choked. I made it just a bad choice with my phone. I got it up. It was just timed. I'm on that like thing every 2 years. You pay a couple $100 and get your new phone. I decided to get the bigger one, the Pro, like the bigger of the two. And I got it because I was like, we had just started recording with the stupid little lapel mics.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh shit, I'm going to need this for like editing. So I want a bigger screen. And I also at that point really wanted to do video, which I still want to do. But so I was like, oh, it'll be good to have a bigger screen for it. But I just hate so much how big the phone screen is.
Yeah.
I swear to God, and I talked to Neve about this yesterday on Pancake Friday. I swear your phone is, what's it called? Your subconscious. And a lot of things, when someone says something to you, it filters through your brain and you have thoughts and feelings and opinions, and they're not actually true. They're just things that go through your brain as you like formulate what you may think is true, right? And I wonder if a lot of the issues with, like, for example, like when you go on comment sections or when people get in huge fights on chats and all this stuff, if the thing is your phone is your subconscious, so like there's this weird thing where all of a sudden you can just put your subconscious right out there as it happens, and so like this, and then all of a sudden you're like dealing with things. 'Cause I'll fully admit I've said things and got in arguments or whatever with someone online about something, and then later on, like let's say like 10 hours later, 8 hours later, I've looked back and I was like, I don't even know why I got in an argument with it. I don't even actually think that. But in the moment, I was like so heated, and I just wonder if it's maybe like your subconscious gets kind of like, what? out.
I also think there's like a layer of separation between you and someone else that you have to talk to online. Like you can remove a little bit of accountability because who uses their first name for the most part in online forums or on YouTube or whatever. And so when you comment or get into argument with someone, it almost feels like I'm not actually talking to a real person. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like there's so many people online that are just straight up like keyboard warriors, you know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think I very rarely have ever been someone that's fought online. Like I'll talk with my friends and like I think I call it debating because I never actually like get in like heat exchange where I'm like fuck you to my friends. I just like, but like I don't actually debate. Like I never go. I have literally, of course, everyone has, but like for the most part, I've just never been someone that's like ever felt like I need to be in comment sections fighting with people.
I like disagreement. I think disagreement fosters conversation. And
I agree.
I personally have a really magnetized personality to want to oppose somebody. I don't know what it is, but when I'm talking to someone or if I'm having conversations, even if I don't feel that way, I just want to see where the conversation goes. And sometimes I want to see how you react to me.
How you
And sometimes I'll be like, ooh, I should like back up a little bit because this person can't handle that poking and prodding, you know? But I don't know. It's a little bit of a character flaw because sometimes I do it just because, you know, I just want to see what happens.
I mean, Zach's the same way. I'm not the most oppositional person, but I do enjoy a good debate. So I usually like side of I'll just kind of be like, oh yeah, okay, as opposed to like argue with you. But I do enjoy. Can I have a Corona? I do enjoy. Just I don't know. I'm not a person that's too stuck in my ways. I have a lot of thoughts and opinions, but they also radically change depending on the day. Okay, I want to talk about this yacht billionaire, British Bill Gates. So, do you know anything about this?
No, because you told me not to research anything.
Good. I did this because I feel like if you researched it, you would probably have like all the answers, and I'd be like, okay, this is what I'm talking about here. Okay,
I've been a busy man.
I did a little bit, but I didn't go to the rabbit holes that you went to.
Okay, so there's a tech billionaire, and I might need you to get me on the days of this. I think it was in 2009, this British tech billionaire sold his
2011.
2011.
2011.
Okay, 2011. So he sold his company. What was it called?
So he sold autonomy
to
HP, Hewlett Packard, and I guess the gist of it was he was committing fraud. And he's been in a lawsuit for the past 12 years, and he recently got acquitted.
First off, so they call him the British Bill Gates. His name is, I believe, Brian Cox.
Mike Lynch.
Oh, bad boy.
That's
why you're
here. Brian Cox is nowhere. That's an actor, dude.
Okay, so we can agree that there's many names that can be called. So his name.
How much did you research this?
I didn't worry about his name.
His name is also John Smith.
His name is Mike Lynch, and they call him the British Bill Gates. So
why is he called that?
Because he made this basically, from what I understand, it was.
Does he look like Bill Gates but British?
No, it was because he sold his program for $11 billion, and it basically was like this data collection thing that made it at the time. AI didn't exist, or like I guess it was the first AI where you could get it to do data collection without actually having it the end game to be like telling it to go do stuff. It could like figure out where the data was coming from that it needed and go find it. And back in 2009-11, when this is all going down, this like acquisition, that was like crazy. Like that was a huge step for just where we are.
That's what AI is now.
Yeah, it's like the start of AI.
Yeah, so his company was like, it worked on search software. So it's pretty much for data.
Yeah.
And it came out pretty much around the time of Google and Yahoo and all that.
1997?
Yeah, 1996.
So he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so okay, good job, Tab. Thank you.
It's my job, man.
And okay, so
wait, you didn't know that?
No, I did. It's just I did know all this. It's just it's good to have it because I've got a lot going on.
Okay.
Well, he told me to research the fact check. So
I just wanted to make sure fact check so we're going in the right direction here.
I'm here for support.
Okay, so So what basically happens is he gets sued by this company for claiming...
Which company?
HP.
But I thought HP
was the company that bought Autonomy.
But then didn't they sue him because he inflated the price, or like he made it oversell?
Yeah, so he announced $8.8 billion worth of a write down. So that's pretty much like writing down pretty much their value.
Yeah, like he
company, okay. And then
he overinflated their value. They bought it, and then they claimed that it was like fraud, that he sold it to them for this. So he's been in this huge trial.
So basically, okay, just before we move forward, they sued him because they bought something at a price that he said was worth this much when it actually wasn't worth that much at the time.
Yeah, well, what I'm guessing it was $11 billion. Yeah. So that what I'm guessing it.
So someone messed up the accounting pretty much.
Yeah, what I'm guessing it is like give max profits, like say you did everything the best, right?
Okay, let's go.
So he goes through this trial that's been going on for ages now, and 3 months ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
2 months ago, he officially gets acquitted. Him and this other guy that was this guy that funded Autonomy at the very start of it all. Okay. So then a month ago, was it? Not even when he died.
Pretty much August 19th. So about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. He's out on his yacht with his 18-year-old daughter and a few people celebrating
because he got acquitted.
Okay. Yeah. And mysteriously, his yacht capsizes in a storm and sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and they die.
They all die. So Mike Lynch.
No. There's so there was 22 people on it, and 7 died, including himself and his daughter and a couple other.
And then 3 days prior, the guy that was with him, I forget what they call it, but it was the guy that was like in this, like helping him, also had got acquitted. He gets hit by a car while riding a bike.
What the?
Yeah.
Oh, I've peripherally heard about this through Joe Rogan.
Oh, is that okay? So right away, I'm like...
Oh, this is starting to sound familiar.
Yeah, so right away I go like this. I'm like, okay, well, in terms of, like, I love my conspiracies. In terms of conspiracies, I'm like, this is a pretty crazy one. Like,
because there was some weird stuff, too, with Boeing or with, like, the air, that transport thing, something like that happened, too, where someone or another died like that, too.
Oh, that one I haven't really looked into, but it was a guy from Boeing came out and said, because there's all these...
Yeah, but it's starting to, like, this is all kind of very similar type of...
Yeah, and so anyhow, I listened to a guy talk about it, and he said, like, obviously, conspiracy-wise, it's, like, the perfect conspiracy to line up, right? Like, this guy lies about his company, he gets acquitted, and then the 2 people that get acquitted just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And the yacht was apparently like Titanic level.
Yeah, like
it's unsinkable. It's like a super yacht. It's like biggest yacht ever built.
Nothing's unsinkable.
So now I do personally believe that this is just a coincidence. Like, it just seems like when you start hearing and
was there a storm?
There's a storm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Just even the way the guy got hit, like it wasn't like the guy drove off and he was never seen again. Like, the driver was like very distraught and like sad.
Yeah.
So there's all that stuff, but there is a conspiracy behind it all still.
Okay.
And this is what I think is a hilarious one. And supposedly this AI, part of it is it's like it was one of the first, and so why it was acquired for 11 billion is because like all of everything we use for software today has it built into it. Okay.
Autonomy software, you mean?
Yeah. Supposedly. Yeah. And then the thing that they say why he was killed and all this stuff after was because he knew that the software would make everything so that AI could get in backdoor and reprogram everything. So it's basically this idea of like everything has been hacked from the beginning to have this software where the AI is the backdoor. Now that we have AI, it like has a way in. And then they killed him because he knew. Mm-hmm. But again, as I read more into it, it seems very likely he just...
There was a storm.
There's 2 deaths.
Gotcha.
Seem like a conspiracy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, by the way, before we continue with Tep's point, you don't have to cut out the entire intro. I said diddle, which is fine. Maybe the other stuff you can cut out, but diddle is I could be diddling like I could be diddling my thumbs on my keyboard, or like.
I don't think we have to cut any of it. We're on Spotify.
That's true. Okay.
Joe Rogan had said that because when he was on YouTube, he couldn't do so much stuff. Then he went on Spotify, and it became like unhinged. That maybe it's the wrong word, but like you notice they like do so much just whatever. And then he went back onto all platforms, and you could notice that they stopped saying words and editing.
But to be fair, this was all in contextual conversation. Right. Like I was using the word in a contextual way.
Yeah. You're gonna be fine.
Okay. Just as soon as you start talking about AI, I was like, yeah, The Rock made like a robot diddling thing. And it was for a skit. It was on SNL. SNL can get away with it. I feel like we should be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one thing that I've brought up. Or I thought of, okay? So, and this is all in the same vein of all that I just talked about. So, I know you guys won't agree with this, but I think that conspiracy, there's no such thing as a conspiracy. I think there's rabbit holes, and some things are fake, obviously, but I think conspiracy instantly, like, there's too many conspiracies that have come true to say, like, oh, that's a conspiracy.
Well, give me a couple.
Okay, well, MK Ultra is by far the craziest one. That's the CIA was giving LSD to a whole bunch of unsuspecting soldiers and civilians,
including Charlie Manson.
Yeah. So like just like that, and so there is conspiracies that are real, but obviously there's a ton that aren't. But what I think is going to happen with AI is, I think it's fair to say we have a free flow of information going on right now with social media.
And
right?
everything, all the time.
Yeah. So I think that things like government corruption is starting to get exposed, and I don't think government corruption is like a cabal. Okay, I don't think it's like there's
Explain the word cabal.
Cabal meaning like there's this like upper echelon of people like the Illuminati. They come together and they're like, we must discuss how we control the world. I think that there's a group of people that like there's a whole bunch of interests that of random things that all kind of align. Is that right?
Yeah.
So but there is a lot of corruption in government, just like in anything. There's like, if you have power, you're gonna find corruption, and I feel like AI could potentially bring an enlightenment age, because it will expose evils and bad things to us, and most people are good, and like it'll bring it to light things that and so that's kind of like, I feel like we're in this weird time right now.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
How do you know when AI has started to become programmed to feed you certain things? Or right now it's supposed to be impartial, right? We ask it a question, it spits out whatever you're asking for.
Right.
Isn't that theoretically how you build trust over 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 years? And then once you trust something and you're like, oh, this is pretty objective piece of equipment,
right,
it starts to feed you information from this subjective source that's created it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're basically saying like the AI is, air quotes, bad, but it's doing what it's like, gaining trust before it gives out its like initial thing, which is to feed you a point of view.
Yeah, because ultimately speaking, we don't have what you would call like the enlightenment of technology yet. We don't have, there's a word for it. It's escaping my word. Singularity. We don't have singularity yet. All AI right now is programmed by humans, right?
Correct.
It's programmed so well now that it does function on its own, but it still is programmed. So technically speaking, and this kind of comes back to what we were talking about earlier in the pod, there is some subjectivity to this piece of equipment still. It's subjective to the use of who owns that company.
I absolutely agree with what you're saying, but I kind of have come to the conclusion that I don't think that it matters, because it's already happening. Like for example, let's pretend that Apple, Google, and Microsoft are just evil corporations that want to take over the world. They've done it. Right?
Oh, I'm not oblivious to that.
Yeah. So that's like where I kind of like, what I would assume is like, is the AI, I think would expose things on a unbiased level. So like,
but that's what you think.
You think? I know. I
that's
agree.
What you think.
Yeah, that's what I think.
If AI was owned by the Trudeau government, let's just say, let's just remove Trudeau. If AI was owned by you, right? Okay. And you love Liverpool, you hate the Jazz, you hate the Pacers, you don't like Raheem Sterling, right? Yeah. And you program this AI that can gather information and people can ask questions. And some guy goes, hey, from my fantasy football team, should I be picking up Raheem Sterling or Kai Havertz? And then your bias to that goes, and let's just say Raheem is
drop out of the league.
That's the most amazing
I just say
season.
drop out of the league.
That's funny, actually, because I don't know exactly if it's real or not, and I don't want to. I saw something the other day, and I don't want to get all political or anything, and I'm not letting anybody know what my political alignment is, but somebody asked Alexa, like, why should I elect Donald Trump? And Alexa was like, I don't have any political biases, or I don't know enough, or something like that. Yeah. Pretty much like just deflecting, right?
Right.
And then it said something about Kamala Harris. Why should I vote for Kamala Harris? And it says all these things like, she's a VP. She's experienced.
That's what I mean.
Well, but but I think that's the issue. Is like, I think if you're unaware of that happening right now, I think you're just very clearly like ignorant to, because it works for you.
No, for sure. But right? you're saying how like eventually AI could potentially expose objective biases or objective corruption in government, et cetera, et cetera. But what if that AI was built? I built an AI, and it's only exposing like your stuff. Just your stuff. Like Derek did this today, or like he said that he did this, but he actually did this.
Yeah.
There's like an inherent bias. Like it might seem objective because they're like, oh yeah, we programmed it. It's objective, but it's still programmed. Like it's still at like.
I absolutely get it. It's just, I think at a certain point you either have to accept that that's just where we're at, or you just have to have some faith in like that whoever is doing that stuff isn't gonna make that bias, I guess. I don't know.
For sure.
And I agree with what you're saying. I don't think it's off at all.
But we also still have humans. Like humans are still people you can talk to, and people that have to earn your trust. I would rather earn the trust of someone that's a living, thinking and breathing organism that can let you down regardless, over something that is built. And I have a really difficult time, and I understand, like, this is just me. I'm not saying that this is like there's anything I can do to prevent it. I'm not oblivious to the fact that this is moving. This is where the future is going. Information is just so easy to gather now, but this goes back to our initial point about how people want information so quickly. They don't want to do their own research.
Right.
I just don't like the exact same reason you hear, like, social media, people just read the titles. People start getting information just from AI because they can get the info as soon as possible. Yeah. But what if that's not the most accurate information? Like, I still feel like I want to put my trust in human beings and having that interaction with people still over that interaction with AI. Does that make any sense?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. Like, my stance on it now. So I used to be hard no into it, but I was interested in it. Like you don't touch it. I go check it out.
That's not true.
Yeah, you've used it.
Yeah.
Let me fast check you on this.
2 days ago.
Ed, how'd it go?
Only for fantasy.
I thought it was for only. I thought you were like for OnlyFans.
No. I had to make a trade on fantasy.
Yeah.
And I asked AI if I should do it.
And did it give you a good answer?
I mean, every single human being told me not to do it, but I did what AI told me to do.
Did it tell you to do it?
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how it pans out. If it doesn't pan out, then I'm like, AI is a scam.
Okay.
Didn't really tell him how to do it, but it said it's probably a good trade. It's even.
Yeah. So, well, it's I don't know. I go back and forth all the time between, do you deny it? Do you just embrace it because it's happening?
You can't deny it.
But but it's like, I don't know. It's a really weird time. I genuinely envision a near future where like we actually will have people we know so well, and they'll just be so linked into things that will just be like basically foreigners in a faraway land meeting for the first time.
I don't want that, man.
I don't either, but I just think so because like for example, let's say you and me do nothing different. We just keep living our lives the same. Mm-hmm. But downtown Vancouver is now like we'll call it a cyber city where like if you walk in there and you have like, I don't know, some chip or something, like everything's just more like wired in for you. I feel like you would just kind of slowly become like, people would be like, yo, you gotta try this. This is the funnest thing. It's amazing. You can go do this, and oh, watch this. I have my glass. It'll probably be a glass or something. They'll be like thinking it's so cool, but really, you and I from the outside will just kind of see these people that are just like walking around, just so people on the mic, like walking around super like monotonously looking at things, because that's what it is. If you think of yourself when you're on your phone or your screen or whatever, it kind of feels like you're doing stuff and it's crazy. You're like watching all this stimulation, but you're really just like zombie staring at it, and that's just gonna get worse and worse, right? Yeah.
Well, speaking of doing nothing, obviously your foot's healed now because you're playing soccer. How's that doing?
I was out 2 months injured, and I'm back now. I've been playing for a month. I've done full training. I've done 3 training sessions. So that's like sprinting and like all that. I've done 3 7-a-side games, which is actually the hardest sprinting.
Yeah, because there's just limited people. Yeah.
And in 7-a-side, I scored the craziest goal last game. Where there's this one team. Apparently, I've been injured the last 3 or 4 games against them. So I was.
Did people play during the summer this year?
Yeah.
You took the summer off.
Well, I only did because my ankle would have been in it. I returned for playoffs, but I just sniped one bottom left corner. I was so stoked. But yeah, my ankle's good. I'm back.
How's the running, like the transition back to running?
It's fine. The only thing I'm finding is when I can't sprint fully because I feel like my dorsiflexion, there's just still fluid in it. And there is a little. So like, and it's weak. So like when I'm running, I can't like pull up my leg enough. But it's just, I'd say I'm about 85, 90%. Would I play in a full game tomorrow? Yes, but I'd come on as a sub and play like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Yeah. And you've been consistent, I think, for the most part, right?
I've outside of stopping to play soccer to heal, I haven't done, like, I've still gone to the gym. Like Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you can't, like, I honestly believe, I'm a huge believer. If, and you are too, I know that. But like, if, as soon as you get hurt, short of moving, making things worse, like when I tore my pec or when you tore your ACL, like there was no amount of movement that was going to make that better. But short of like managing that initial whatever onset, I think moving is the best cure for everything.
Period. I always think it's one thing that I find cheap about physios. So no disrespect to physios. I love physios. They're super smart, intelligent. But they get the luxury of when people come in to see them, they're literally trying to like fix an injury, and then the physio, a huge part of it is telling them to go home and like do movements, and then I tell them to do the same movements. Like they're not like the crazy, I'm not talking about like the physios that are dealing with like the high-end injuries. I'm talking about just more like chronic desk worker injuries and stuff. And like I'm like, you just got to do this and this, and they're like, yeah, whatever, massage therapist. And then they go to see Adrian, the physio I work with, and he'll be like, yeah, you need to like do this. The exact same thing. Literally the exact same. It's like a tricep extension. It's nothing crazy. And the person's like, oh, he's just such a genius. And Adrian's super smart. I don't want to take away from him. But I feel like there's this thing of, I'm like, the reason that they have it is the underlying of what they tell everyone to do that they do is the most important thing to healing. Which is just moving. Moving.
Like, oh man, literally just being stagnant is the most comfortable thing you can do because it feels good. It just feels good to rest. It feels good to relax. But once you consistently move or consistently participate in something, you ever get tics where you're sitting at home where you've done a few days where you've taken like a rest period or whatever it is, and I get this where I sit down, I'm like, I need to move. Like I need to do something.
Absolutely. I mean, I walk Nua for an hour every day minimum. I don't even consider that exercise stuff.
But that's so choked that I missed that with Django.
If you asked me to stay home for 3 days and do you're not allowed to exercise, you would catch me in the bathroom doing bicep curls or something like that.
Like I'm on a run right now where I feel like I just need to be moving. Like the last few days, like I got up this morning to do jiu-jitsu at like 5 a.m.
Nice.
But it's just you ever catch that wave where you're like, everything right now movement wise feels so good.
Oh yeah. How is your jiu-jitsu going?
I'm not taking it super seriously. So I'm having a lot more fun with it.
Good.
Yeah. Because before I used to do it just to actually do it.
Yeah, you were going.
Whereas now I have like no ego about it. I'll get beat up. For me, it's just more cardio.
Yeah, well, that's what you have to do. It's the same thing with my soccer. If I were to truly give it my all the time, I would just be hurting myself and all that stuff. But it is also, I'd imagine, fun when you're not doing that, because it's like if you're in killer mode trying to win, then you're gonna do the most efficient things to win. Whereas when you're like enjoying it more, you can maybe like be more loose and try things you might not try.
Yeah. I also find the gym's a lot more fun when you have, like right now I have like a plan that I'm following. I always find that's a little bit more fun, because then like if I'm struggling with the exercise or if I'm not lifting the weight that I want to lift, I can look back at like what I did last week or what I'm going to be doing in the future. And then, I don't know, I guess bitching out of it is just on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, I'm not just making this out of nowhere. I'm actually following a plan.
You were the one that showed me how to write my plans. Like, you showed me like way higher end of like when you want to do accessory stuff with it and why you do this and like actual like properly how to move things. But I do think one of the most valuable things you showed me was just writing down workouts. And it does. When you come in and you have your workout, you know what your workout is. It's not even that it's crazy. It's just you know what you're doing. And then you have the week prior to see like what you've done, where your weights are at. Your efficiency goes through the roof.
Yeah. Because you're not wasting time.
Okay, I want to bring up a sad thing. But it's sad because it shows how awesome dogs are and why they're the best.
Yeah.
So I was listening to this guy talk about 9/11, like facts and stuff that you just wouldn't hear. Do you know there's a lot of dogs that helped out with 9/11?
Like helped in the rubble and stuff?
In the rubble,
okay.
Yeah, and all that stuff. So they were all like they're sniffing out people and stuff like that.
Oh, that makes sense, actually.
But the problem was, this is pretty sad, there wasn't very many people alive, obviously.
Yeah.
It was more just parts of people everywhere, and they've collected, like they purposely collected for DNA stuff, like as much as people as they could to give to the families and whatnot, right?
Of course, yeah.
And so the dogs were doing what they did as dogs, but they're trained to find living humans, but they kept going and they'd find just pieces of people, and the dogs got depressed.
Really?
Because they couldn't handle the emotional toll of like seeing humans like that.
Yeah.
So what they did was they kind of tricked them, is amongst all the like rubble, they would hide a living person. So after a while of them finding stuff, they would see a living person and get like hyped because they completed their job and stuff. But it's a sad thing, but I also just thought it was so amazing, because I think like dogs are like the best, and it just shows like how much they love us and just are like so proud to, like, they're such sympathetic creatures.
Yeah, man, dogs are pretty sweet, man. Animals are pretty sweet. I have a really weird bond with my animals. Like, it's just such a thing that you can't just create out of nowhere, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, animals are great, but dogs especially are just a different.
Yeah, how's your cat doing? You enjoying cat life?
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Like, her and I butted heads for quite a long time, and we didn't get along. But I think her and I are pretty tight now. I think I've figured out that cats aren't like dogs, you know, and how to play. But to be honest with you, my cat is pretty low maintenance in the sense of you can do a lot of stuff to her that you can't do to a lot of cats.
Nice. Yeah, I've noticed that. Like, she does, like, even when I went and pet her, I forgot, like, you have to, like, let them sniff you and stuff. And she just comes like this. Usually cats, like, freak out or run away.
She doesn't care, dude. You can rub her belly. Yeah, most cats don't let you rub their belly.
Shows that they trust you.
Yeah, that's true.
Like cats in general, if they show their belly, they trust.
Do you like cats or dogs more?
I haven't had a pet, so.
Do you have a preference?
Dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs you can train to do stuff.
And they're eager to please. Yeah. Generally, like good dogs. So.
And you can ride them.
Nuo?
Yeah, Nuo, when I'm tired, I'm like, Nuo, take me up the hill, and I sit on her back, all 40 pounds of her.
Do you have a sled, like just a pull sled?
Pull sled, and I just sit there.
Let's go, Nuo. Good job.
Okay, I've got a question for you. I hope you didn't read that.
No, I didn't.
Okay, what was made first, the match or the lighter?
Huh.
It's like
the match.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
No, the match was made first.
The match or the lighter?
Yeah.
Wood came first, and the ability to spark fire came first.
Agreed.
Wrong.
A lighter was made before a match.
The lighter was made before the match.
I find that factually incorrect.
Okay, check it. Go look and see.
Okay, give me examples why.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I think it's easier to make a lighter than it is to make a match when you think of it. Because you have to take arsenic, you have to have the striking surface and all this stuff and put on a piece of wood. Whereas a contraption that lights a spark and releases gas is way easier.
Okay, question. Mm-hmm. How are we defining a match? Like, are we defining a match as the match that we know today, or a match as just a piece of wood?
No. I'm talking about like an arsenic match with like top where you...
Oh, okay.
And if you think of it, think of how complex a match is.
I mean,
like think of it. You have to make a match. You have to
probably some chemical compound too. It's
arsenic in something. You need it on a little stick on top. You have
Interesting.
And right. And then when you think of what a lighter is,
it's just
you
oil.
Just need like a gaseous thing and then a spark to light it. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never would have thought that.
And I think it's a really fun fact because it's so obvious that you're gonna pick a wooden match over a mechanical thing, right? Like as soon as you hear wood over or like match over lighter, you're like, what? No way! Like that's impossible.
Then the match came first, you mean?
Yeah, you think that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. So my next topic is the traffic in Vancouver is shitty as fuck, dude. It's fucking
okay. You know what, man? Okay, you don't get to complain because you had a few weekends and a week of traffic. I do it all the time.
I'm gonna complain so much.
All the time.
I can't get over this is really bad traffic, right? Or is this just I know you're gonna say that no, this is normal Vancouver, but this is just absurd.
No. Traffic has been bad in Vancouver now for over a year. And not to mention traffic in Vancouver and driving in Vancouver in particular is at its worst it's ever been, man. Worst it's ever been. So this guy went for a walk a few weeks ago and literally all I texted him was, yo, have fun on your walk. It's gorgeous out. Be careful because drivers here really suck. And I got a text 15 minutes later. It's some woman almost drove over me.
What?
Yeah, so it was a crosswalk and it was blinking, you can walk. And then he was on a left turn and I'm in the crosswalk.
Yeah.
It was a truck actually. A truck just goes.
And the crazy part is they get mad at you. You did something wrong.
And it happened again a couple of days later when we were out at the quay.
Yeah. Honestly, it's unbelievable. And driving I'm at a point now where I drive so defensively. I just don't care where I'm going anymore. I don't care about getting there quickly because of the nature of the work that I do. Mm-hmm. The driving here is ridiculous now. It is so scary what people are willing to do on driving.
I know. People are just zoned out. Today we were driving and we almost got sandwiched between a semi and a car that was just veering into our lane for no reason and you lost it on them.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had a client come in and talk about they had a bad motorcycling experience while they were coming home from the Coca-Cola and it was just really bad rain and they got caught out in it and they weren't prepared for the elements and they almost got hypothermia and all this stuff and they were like, yeah, I really think I'm just done with biking. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I have kids. Their kids are 20 and 17, right? And then she's telling me a bit more and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I know for a fact through people that work with motor vehicle injuries that motorcycle injuries are the number one bad injury to have, and she was so baffled by that. And I don't know. I just think that motorcycles are a danger. It's just a death trap, quite frankly.
I hate to break it to you, man. Not just motorcycles, but bicycles too.
Really?
Not because a bicycle is inherently dangerous to ride around in, but because you're not just looking out for yourself. You're now in a position where you're vulnerable and not encompassed in X amount of tons of steel, where the danger of someone not seeing you and the danger of what they do is exponentially increased in a bike or a motorcycle. And I'll put it this way, there are no minor injuries.
Right.
On if you're on a highway and you get injured on a motorcycle, that's not a whiplash injury.
No,
I'm sorry.
Well, that's just kind of how I feel about motorcycles in general. Is this whole thing of you're like, yeah, so you get in the same car accident someone does, but you're on a little motorcycle with nothing around you and you just go flying. Like, it's just you versus the elements. But yeah, the traffic here is it's just ridiculous now. Like, I actually can't get over it. Neve's parents, I know it was Friday, but we were just in the most insane traffic where you were actually just sitting gridlock still, and like the light would change to green and one car would go through because of all the congestion and the way it was running. Like, I don't know. It's just.
Do you want to know what it is? Nick and I talked about it. Well, we had 2 hours to talk about it because after we golfed, we were stuck literally in traffic the whole time from golf. Nick and I watched Mighty Ducks 2 by ourselves in traffic because of how bad traffic was. So essentially what it is people just are looking out for themselves now when they drive. Mm-hmm. There's proper merging. Do you know that a merging lane is designed so that you merge at the end of the merging lane?
Like the very front.
At the very, very end of the merging lane where it really tapers. That's when you're designed to merge.
Right.
But people now have decided that they merge at the earliest convenient possibility whenever they can. So what ends up happening is when that happens, it ends up causing a bottleneck at the end, but also at the front. Because now you have 2 merging points where traffic is now congested at 2 points.
Right.
And imagine that happening in a 3-lane highway with incoming traffic and then bottlenecking onto 2 freaking bridges. Not to mention when it's super, super busy on a normal street, the people that are on the parallel or the perpendicular cross-section and have to turn right decide to, instead of waiting for their light to turn green and in space for someone to go, they just want to take up the space. So this person now can't go, or else they'll be stuck in the middle of traffic.
Yeah,
because people just don't care anymore. That's what it is.
That's what I was going nuts at. Was we were at the Cap exit to get onto the bridge there, and every single time we were on Marine trying to go through the red light and to cross over Cap, one car would get through on a green light, and then like 7 or 8 cars that were turning right would just constantly keep turning right, but it plugged everything so you couldn't get through. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm actually just so fed up with this city at this point. I just don't know how much more I really want to do.
It's brutal, dude. The city is for a long time now. I've had a really tough time with the city. Like a lot of times of the week, I'll be driving with Sarah. I'll be here with Sarah. I'll literally turn to her. I'm like, I hate the city.
How often do they do construction?
All the time. It's never ending. Really? Now. It's never ending.
I'm going to say, dude, for at least 15 years straight, you're going to find like heavy construction in North Van somewhere that's like over the top plugging up congestion. Somewhere important.
Because like there's only 2 lanes, like especially in a big city like Vancouver, there's only 2 lanes.
We don't have the infrastructure. Like when the highway was built, it wasn't built in the mindset, I think, to be able to handle this much of a population boom, right? And now you already have the whole system here. Like, what are you going to do? Overhaul the whole city? Like, that's taxpayer money, and people would never be down for that. And B, whoever decided to put that into action, like, imagine how much that would cost, period.
Well, they're trying to do 15-minute cities here. They've got one in Deep Cove coming up. By 20, I want to say 27 or 28, it'll be up. And the whole idea of a 15-minute city is you don't leave your 15-minute city because everything's just there for you to use.
Yeah, but that doesn't help because people have friends. Like,
well, I agree.
People
but
have work.
But it's just kind of like this. I think it's the way things are going. Is like, for example, if you live down here in this area, ideally you don't have to leave this area. And then when you think of what this area is, you have the park, you have the grocery stores, you have some food like restaurants, and then here, which is like living space.
Yeah, you're correct. But then like I have the gym, which I have to go to Lonzo for. I have work, where I actually get to Costa Bridge for. I have friends that don't, for the most part, honestly, don't even live in North Vancouver anymore.
Yeah.
So I just think from a movement perspective, it's great to have these 15-minute cities that you live in your bubble. But it also doesn't take into account the fact that people have friends and family members or work that extends beyond their immediate living situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, Penticton up there, when I was up there, it's so sweet up there. My only problem with Penticton is once the winter comes, there's no one in the city. Like fall, like everyone's gone now. it's 1 week out, and my mom's like, yeah, you definitely notice it's gotten a lot.
And you don't even have this situation like in Kelowna where, at least in the winter time when everybody leaves, it becomes a student town, right?
Yeah. Well, Kelowna, though, I think is actually the second biggest city in BC.
It's a city now.
So it's actually pretty decent. On top of it, it is a student city.
It's completely different from when I lived there. Completely. It's a complete 180. Yeah. I wish you visited me when I lived there, man.
I know.
Oh, it's so amazing
up there. Yeah, Kelowna's. I think Penticton's way nicer than Kelowna. Minus Kelowna has better infrastructure, so you can like play on sports teams and stuff there.
Yeah. I really like Calgary. I think Calgary's
cool. Yeah,
that'll be pretty sweet too. They've basically been doing the 15-minute city for a while because there's literally nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. They have been doing it for ages.
Yeah, there's
like suburbs.
Yeah, there's like downtown and then like 15-20 minute ride and then like suburb and then like 15-20 minute ride like another suburb. Like, you know.
Okay, I gotta. This might be a little political, but I believe it's not because
Is it Joe Henry?
No, it's not Joe Henry. Okay, so this has to do with Israel and Palestine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, so it is political. I what I want to bring up is I think like one of the craziest things about Israel Palestine is I think if you like you don't have to be like a rocket scientist to know that the conflict is like super deep, and it's almost like one of those things that seems like there's no way it'll ever work out kind of thing, right? Like it's one side has to win, one side has to lose. There's no way they'll come to agreement. But I feel like a lot of the times the worst happens like before the sun rises, so to speak, kind of cliche to say. And things I'll use is like, for example, like Germany with what they did with France and Poland and all that. Like it seemed at the time when World War II and I was happening and all that, like it just seemed impossible that they could ever not, like if you had said to them like, oh yeah, like by the way, you guys in the future are going to be friends. Like it just was impossible. So I want to just put out some good energy to the idea of that like even in like the bleakest, there is a chance that like the good can come out of it. And because like this to me, I heard someone else say this and I thought it was good to say, because I was like, yeah, man, like I just thought it was such a like lost cause. But it's like you got to believe in that. So I just want to put that energy out there.
For sure. Have you ever seen Don't Mess with the Zohan?
Yes.
It's amazing, by the way.
Of course.
And obviously that movie is like a parody of like Israel and Palestine, right?
Yeah.
But there's a joke embedded in that I really love, where Adam Sandler as Zohan, he wants to leave the Israeli special forces, right? Because he wants to cut hair and become a barber, right? And he's telling his parents, are like, hey, like I don't want to be this person anymore. And his parents are like, come on, like just gut it out, like. It's only been a couple thousand years. Like, how much longer could it go? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was pretty, like, tongue-in-cheek.
That's pretty good, yeah.
You ever see that movie?
Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing. It actually is so good.
Yeah, it is actually one of the all-time. Adam Sandler was on Joe Rogan. And
yes, he talked about it, right?
It's so funny.
Like, Joe Rogan's like, it's like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
it really is.
The hummus thing is just brilliant. Man.
That, like hacky sack.
Oh yeah,
like how much they love disco. Like it's so random.
But yeah, I wanna try and be part of the like put good out into the world, like positive thoughts and stuff. So that's my first attempt at it.
That's your first positive thought. You're like thinking really big, hey?
You're really big right away, right there. Tomorrow, it's like you'll never believe what happened.
Trying to change the world here.
One podcast at a time.
You're the 5 people listening to the pod, and including Joach.
Yeah, shout out to Joach again.
We should ask a question that we'll test only if he's listening, and then if we'll know he's listening because he'll message you about.
Well, he does message me after all the 3-person circle or the Pancake Fridays, and because I tested this before because
you told me about this the barbecue
thing, so he did answer that. Apparently, Dylan Wild answered it too, but I don't know why the comments section is a little weird on Spotify, and I think that it's just like a dead art form.
The comment section?
Like I don't think people are going on Spotify.
You need YouTube.
Yeah,
you need YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
YouTube is like.
But Dylan did message as well about that, so I do got to make him burgers. Well, Joach just message Dax if you hear this.
Okay, do you want to hear something funny with him? So him, I met him last year, right?
Yeah.
I've hung out with him a total of 3 times.
Okay.
One of them at your baby shower.
Yeah.
The second time at a super random early Liverpool game.
Nice. Right.
And,
yeah.
And then the last time was Klopp's last game with your mom.
Nice.
So 3 times I've hung out with Judge, right?
Neve's mom.
Neve's mom, right? Yeah. Neve's mom. Sorry, Julie.
Yeah.
The first time I ever met him, I ended up sharing Fubo with him and Armand. Right? Yeah. So we carried it over to this year. It's been good. Like whatever. Like we watched Liverpool. So I'm sitting there one day and I get a text from Joe, just like, "Hey Dax, just like, I want to remind you that a bunch of people are sharing this Fubo account. So if you could just maybe go into your saved games or recorded games and clear the games after, that'd be great, because like people want to use it too, right?" And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I literally only use Fubo to watch Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even watch Liverpool, save it and watch it later. I literally will try to watch Liverpool the day of, or I'll watch the recording
while it's still streaming
on the day of while it's still streaming. So I'm like, weird. Like, hey, by the way, like I don't record any games. Like it's just not how I roll. Like I just want to watch one team. I got a message like half an hour later and it's like, "Hey man, sorry. Turns out Armand is just auto-saved to record every single Premier League game."
Sounds about right.
And the first thing I think of is like, why are you recording every Premier League game? Like, it's like, I really gotta watch that Burnley Ipswich game.
Yeah, like, can't miss that one. It's for them to come in 7th or 18th.
Relegation fight.
Yeah, maybe an 8.
No, Joach is a beauty. Armand's a beauty too, but he also has a MUFC tattoo on his bicep.
Really?
And it's getting lasered off.
He's lasering it off?
Yeah.
When did he get it done?
I want to say he was a kid. I think he was like 18 or 19, so it was like that. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you, if I would ever get a Liverpool tattoo. I really thought, like, I love my one I have my dad, and I just don't know if I would.
I think I would, but it would be really subtle. Like, it would be something to do with the slogan, or maybe like a tiny thing of the bird, right? Like very, very subtle, where if someone went, it's like, and has no knowledge of sports and goes like, "Oh, you'll never walk alone." That's like really, that's nice. Like I like that.
Yeah, that's what I think I would go. "You'll never walk alone" too, somewhere like on my calf, or I was thinking in the back of my hamstring. But yeah, I just it was anyhow. Armand, he's getting rid of his because Armand's a really passionate sports fan.
Yeah, I know, and he's a very passionate
Canuck.
Canucks fan, but also passionate music fan too.
Oh,
but it's really funny because him and I have very opposing views on a lot of things, but I feel like him and I will get along in the sense of it'd be a good conversation, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, he's actually just done with.
Is he quitting?
No, I'm done with United, not soccer.
No, is he quitting Man U?
I don't think he's. I mean, he's getting the tattoo removed. I feel like that's crazy, but I don't think he would quit them. I just think that like until they're good, he probably won't watch them.
Oh. So he's jumping from Man U, or just taking a break?
Yeah, like he, for example, like he doesn't watch any other games, so it's not like he's like I'll go watch Chelsea. He's just the thing that with him is he views it as he's putting his money into the club, and with like by watching it and buying the merch and stuff, and he views them as like they're doing it for money. They're not putting in effort. The things they're doing clearly are just like not something he's willing to support, which fair
Makes
enough.
sense.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm more on the side. I support them through thick and thin, but I also have never supported a club that's had the same like managerial where you feel like the owners are selling the club down the drain. So
dude, it sucks. Yeah. I've had 2 teams go through that.
Yeah.
And technically, I mean, the Canucks did that for quite a long period of
Well,
time.
but the Aquilinis, I think they're bad management in the sense of like maybe they made wrong moves, but I don't think that they are like selling the franchise off for money. Like I think they actually want to win, and they just aren't the best at being a.
Yeah, fair. But I mean, I'm talking more in the sense of
Going
perpetual losing. You know,
okay.
Because it's really funny because again, Zach and I don't see a lot of eye to eye in terms of sports or a lot of things, but him and I can have a pretty amicable conversation. It's so much easier when him and I are face to face.
Always is.
Because then I can hear the tone in his voice. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But like the one thing he can't rag on me and Carrie about, even though we're diehard Lakers fans, is just being there and riding for them when we're good.
Yeah.
Because some of my favorite times supporting the Lakers, as weird as this sounds, is when we sucked so much balls. Because I had no expectations. Mm-hmm. So if we had like a win, it'd be like, yeah, we're riding. Like, ask this guy, man. I was cheering for like Kyle Kuzma.
Earl Clark.
And, yeah, everybody. Earl Clark.
The year that I was the hardest into the Lakers since Kobe left was when it was Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, and Caldwell Pope was like the man.
Brandon Ingram.
Ingram, yeah.
I have a Brandon Ingram jersey.
Yeah, I don't know. I just find like basketball, I would never pretend to be as big a Lakers fan as you and Carrie. But I do like they've always been my team. But basketball, I can more pivot and watch players. But I find easily. But like in soccer and hockey, I just like the Canucks and Liverpool. And anytime I'm watching other teams, even like I can enjoy the sport, obviously, but I just don't really care.
Oh, okay.
Into like I've watched like the biggest Champions League final match, and unless Liverpool's in it, like I can get into it, like that was such a good. I want them to win. But it's really not. I don't care unless it's my team.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For me, I can really easily jump into hockey or hockey easily, but because I got so into it, I can jump into like any game and really get in because I know a lot of the players now.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
But soccer, I just can't do it yet. Like it's just the play style. I'm not very adept in terms of the type of styles like 3-4-4 or whatever it is. And then I know some of the players maybe,
Yeah.
And I just find I'm a lot more comfortable watching Liverpool because I kind of know how we're going to play. And I know how all the players are going to play.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's part of it is, I mean, that's the fun thing about watching your team is all that. And then you go watch like Chelsea and you're like, what the fuck is this?
How I feel about the Celtics, like watching this year.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't been in the finals or won the finals in like 16 years. And by far this year was probably like, this feels so good. And it's probably like the same for you guys in Liverpool. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel good to win all the time.
I feel like as much as it's fun to win and you like get to celebrate in the moment, I feel like it's nice because like, especially with Liverpool, it would be always so annoying because whenever you'd have debates with people, everyone would bring up that your team's never won is this like, you could like I could be like Liverpool's so freaking good, and this and this and this, and then someone would go, but they haven't won a Premier League title. And
that's me with Arsenal right now.
Yeah, right, and it kind of like fucks up like everything, and it kills the debate because in one sense they're right, but you're also like, come on, man. Like I do think that I subscribe more to the side that you can't base it fully on championships. If a guy wins championships, that's a big thing. But I just don't think you can fully do that because only one team ever wins every year.
Okay, I'm going to preface what I'm going to say is I completely agree with you. I think the championships talk has gone overblown where someone's default argument when they can't back up their point is go, well, we have more championships than you, right?
Yeah. Or they've never won.
Yeah, or they've never won. So I completely agree with you, but I will say this, like for certain sports and certain teams and certain leagues, when you haven't won in a while and you're continuing to do the exact same thing, after a little bit, you kind of have to just take a step back and go, hey, like, is this the best for the franchise for success? For the longest time, especially in our circle of friends that love the Canucks, the sentiment was always, we should re-sign this guy, or we shouldn't trade this guy, or we should keep this guy. And I'm like, but we haven't done anything. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying trade everybody, but I think you can't be married to people that aren't contributing to winning.
Yeah, I do agree with that because it's like you get like that's the thing I liked about the Canucks this year was we didn't re-sign guys that were fan favorites solely because they were fan favorites. We're like, no, you're too expensive and we're not going to take you.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how we won the championship because we traded
Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Speaking of basketball, how you feeling about the punishment this year?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'd like it better than Denny's.
Yeah.
Personally.
I would too.
Because
fuck Denny's, dude. I don't want to eat that shit and spend my time.
To me, that affects my health.
Yeah.
So, it affects everybody's health.
Well, running 21.5 Ks is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I think I could just deadpan, go run 21.5K. I don't think it'd be pretty. It wouldn't be the fastest, but I think I could do it pretty.
I think I could do it. I think that distance is mental.
Yeah.
That distance is mental. 42K is a little different of a conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like it's going to suck for us Arizona guys because, like, when's the draft? Like, October? And it's still kind of up there.
Well, then run in September.
But it's still hot. It's like...
It's flat, though. Here is it.
Or go on the treadmill.
Oh,
find an indoor track.
If I
that'd be so boring though,
dude. If I lose, I'm putting on a 6 hour. I think it would take me 3.5 hours.
Or fly here and run in September.
Or just fly to LA or something.
Or fly to, but LA would just be hot
fly
too.
To the craziest place.
No, it's way cool. It's weather's way better.
Fly to Zion National Park or something. Something so Valley. Crazy.
Yeah. To be honest with you, part of me is obviously I don't want to come in last place. I'm too competitive when it comes to this stuff, and I know it's weird because it's literally doesn't affect real life at all. But anytime there's a competition in anything, I can't not try. I don't want to come in last place, but I think if I did, I would actually sit there and be like, cool, I can train for this. People are like, why are you only running? And I'm like, well, because I want to run a 21K and try to get a good time.
I would just do it. I'd be like, I'm going, and I just set some music and podcasts and run. I think I can run 10K in about 55 minutes.
That's normal. That's an average person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. I think that it's a better challenge than Denny's, right? I thought about it because everyone was giving me all these suggestions. 100 suicides I think would be worse, to be really honest.
What's a suicide? Is that a run sprint?
No, suicide is, so you have a full basketball court, right?
Yeah.
So you start at the baseline, you run to the free throw line, you run back. You run to the half court line, you run back.
Yeah, I just call those lines.
But you have to run and touch.
Yeah.
So there's suicides where you just run and go to the line.
So does touching count as one or the entire court?
An entire court and back is one.
So 4 is one.
Yeah, so it's there, free throw line, back, half line, back, 3/4 line, back.
I mean, if you're
back. That's a
I'm not saying it'd be easy at all, but if I were to do it, I would just jog it. So I'd homer it because it's too hard to sprint.
No, for sure, but I think the act of the up and down, I think people don't realize how much that takes out of you even jogging.
Absolutely.
It's the change because your body is never adapting to one pace.
Right.
Whereas when you're running, you're singularly paced. Have you ever tried just running and then changing levels, constantly changing levels? Next time you're in the field, just try it. Just run a couple, change levels, come back up. The cardio expenditure just from that level change and doing it multiple times is so weird.
So what are we talking here? Can you just show me heights?
So let's just say
is there 3 levels, 2 levels, 1 level?
Yeah, let's just say I'm running, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just changing levels and coming back up. Right?
Oh, okay.
Just try to just change levels, anything, even burpees. Think about burpees.
Yeah, right? I've got everyone on a sprint thing right now. Okay, Paul is a fucking machine, and we did the Swedish Mile, which is we only did a half one. Full is the full field, but we did half field. So you jog the whole field. Once you get to the start corner, you sprint one side, jog half the 3 other quarters or thirds. Then you sprint half the field, jog half, sprint 3/4 of the field, jog 1, sprint the full field. And then the full thing, we did the quarter, I guess technically would be you then go down. So it's jog 1 side, sprint 3, jog half, sprint. And we did that. And Paul started last and finished way ahead of everyone.
Amazing.
Paul's a freak of nature.
It's like Chris Wiggins.
Yeah. I think Paul would put Chris Wiggins to shame.
Cool.
That's
cool.
Crazy Paul. Everyone's just blowing.
What's his fitness routine, or just this is a genetic thing for him?
I mean, I think there's a part of it is genetics, but I think it's kind of it's just who he's been his whole life. This family was always bikers / long distance hikers and kayaking, and him and his girl go on it's a 100K bike ride, and then they get into a canoe for
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think what I want to really do, because I want to stop lifting for a little bit, because I do want to get back into jiu-jitsu, and I think from my perspective, I can't do both. Do you know what I mean? Just from a recovery side. So I think on the days where I'm not, I'm just going to get into full cardio. Nice. So whatever it is, airdyne, bike, long runs, and then just recovery. I did the assault bike yesterday was Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I did a 5-minute plan. So it's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. for 5 minutes.
God.
I got to like 2.5, and I'm trying to do this thing right now where I'm not opening my mouth at all. So
you're breathing through your nose.
Only nose. And I think I got halfway, and my body was going like.
Of course it was. Dude.
Like my body just wanted me to.
I've done the tape my mouth shut, and I stopped breathing through my mouth without tape now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super good, dude. Yeah, that's crazy that you're doing that because you're supposedly supposed to be able to, right? Mm-hmm. Like, eventually.
Yeah. So, like, what I've been doing in jiu-jitsu or something I've been trying is just keeping my mouth shut. And if I'm getting tired, then I just let someone just smash me because I don't want the reaction to just be like,
yeah, stop.
Like the gasp, you know. So, like, I'd rather just like.
And what have you noticed?
So I mean, it's just been a week of doing this, right? So
but you must have noticed something. Like, is it way harder?
I don't know. We'll see. Ask me in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
See how it goes. Yeah.
We will ask you in 2 weeks. Let's see on the calendar when 2 weeks is.
That is the 21st. Am I right?
The 20th.
Ah, damn.
All right, you heard it here first. In 2 weeks, we'll check in on that.
I guess I gotta start doing stuff every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Well, yeah, as good as the punishment is this year, I'm definitely not trying to play for it.
We were talking about this though today. This year will be the best draft in a long time.
Yeah.
Because all the big guys are going back into the field, like Steph, Giannis.
Oh.
So Steph, Giannis, Zach's dropping AD and Kat.
What?
Like we're getting like an influx of a bunch. Remember how the last couple of years, like you'll have like 1 or 2 big names.
Yeah.
This year it'll be like all the heavy hitters are coming back in.
Interesting.
Because Julian's dropping all of his guys. Zach's dropping all of his guys.
I'm keeping Halbert, Embiid, and Jokic.
Yeah, I think me and you are gonna have under $100 overall. But I'm doing an interesting draft strategy this year.
Why?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. But I think this will be the best, like the funniest, or the best auction draft since the very first one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that our auction draft has been one of the funnest things to do.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it in the basketball setting. The hockey one, is our hockey one an auction draft?
Yeah. It
is.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah.
The hockey one's okay. I don't know. I just find hockey, for me, hockey draft, I think I've just done it for like 20 years. So I'm just kind of like, meh.
I like it because I jumped in relatively early or like later.
Yeah.
And my learning curve was insane, man. Insane.
Didn't you go from competing to winning back to back and should have won the third?
Yeah. Well, I tied Connor. So technically I haven't realistically lost yet.
What do you mean you tied Connor?
I tied, but he won the season series. So
that's how he won the championship?
That's how he beat me in the first round.
Oh.
Yeah, so we tied.
Dang.
We ended up tying, but he won the season series, so I bowed out. Right?
Damn, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. Have you, since Neve's parents have been here, what have you guys done? Like, what are some of the fun things you guys done?
We were in Penticton. We did the Penticton
the Penn Canal.
The Penn Canal. It's between, so there's the Lake Kalamalka and Lake Okanagan, I think it is, or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Skaha Lake and Kalamalka Lake, or whatever it is. There's like Penticton's between the ends of the two, and then they have the channel that runs through them. So we did that. That was super fun.
You guys just float
in it. It's a 4-person thing.
How many hours is that?
Ours was 2, but they said it was because the river was high.
Okay.
Usually it's 3 to 4, but we sat in it. There's a little foot thing that's made of mesh in the middle, and it's like big. Like everyone's like, I can stand up. And Juliet just got to like, it was like waist deep for her, so we could just let her like crawl around in that, and we just drank in the channel. Cool. So that was cool. We went to the new restaurant, Simpra Uno or something.
Here?
Yeah.
On like Lonsdale?
Lonsdale, like the one, it used to be Gusto de Quattro.
Yeah, at the very bottom of Lonsdale.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it was good. And then what else did we do? Yeah, it was just a lot of like grandparents' time with the baby for the most part.
Gotcha.
So we were just like going and doing stuff where it was just more like, oh, look at the baby's doing this, and then I'd be like, yo, check out this, and they'd be like, shut up. No, I'm just joking.
Idiot.
I'm trying to like out impress the baby. I'm like, yo, look at this fireworks display I made.
This baby can't even say words. Look what I can do.
Sprained my ankle. Oh, help me.
We've been playing a game on PS5 where someone gets like a celebration, and they don't do this in real life, but the guy goes like,
wait, what game is this?
2K. Oh no,
MLB The Show.
The show.
Oh, is that the 2v2 one?
No, we're playing a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's really fun.
That's sweet, dude. Baseball games are so fun.
They're kind of. They're really frustrating.
They're hard.
Not that they're hard, but once you start picking apart, once you play it enough, you start to realize like how much of the stuff doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Okay, so I blame Nakey Jakey for this because he's exposed a lot of systems for me, but I don't like it when things aren't consistent. Like I'm okay with things acting a certain way, but I have to have consistency in like why things are happening.
What, meaning like every time you hit it down the first base line, if you have a lefty, you dive left, it goes through his glove, you're fine as long as it always happens?
No, but because I understand this random. So for example, like if you have a good timing on a swing, the pitch is like right in the zone and it's green, I shouldn't be whiffing on that ball.
Right.
You know, like I should be either catching a part of it, but I shouldn't be whiffing on that ball. Or like if I'm throwing a pitch, like what's the point of like having a target when like it's just going everywhere? You know, like you know what I mean? Like there's like no consistency to it, and like the more you play it, the more you start to notice you're like, what am I doing?
See, I kind of disagree with that now. So like, what if Shohei Ohtani's like the best pitcher or top 5 best pitchers right now, right?
Yeah.
So if you're getting good swings off me and you're getting mad that you're getting good swings and you should be hitting every time, and you're hitting that with like say a shitty player.
Yeah.
Would that make sense in real life?
No, but I do think that you should, if you have good timing on a swing, and if the ball is coming in and it's like right
like you just want good contact, even if it just goes like
because like I understand like if I swing early or if the swing is like a little bit off, but you need to be so perfect on like a Shohei Ohtani swing.
Okay.
I shouldn't be whiffing on a thing that's green.
So you're not mad that he's like not like hitting it. You're mad that it doesn't make contact.
Like or like there's just no consistency in the mechanics. You know, like it isn't. I don't know.
I haven't played base. I used to play a lot of baseball growing up, and I had like all the games and stuff.
Yeah.
And I do think they're fun. Like when you like hold, you have to have like your guy catches a grounder, and you hold like B to throw to first, and it, like winds up.
Yeah, that's
like it's
really
fun. Yeah,
that's really fun. Like. Yeah. And obviously, because like it's now updated, it's gotten
way better. Right? Yeah, I remember when I was playing those, it was Ken Griffey Jr. games. They're like Ken Griffey Jr. 2000 and shit like that.
Yeah. You brought it up earlier. Obviously, Joe Rogan. You mentioned Adam Sandler. Yeah. Do you still consistently listen to Joe Rogan?
Yeah, but like I don't really listen to any podcast just because it's the podcast. I listen to more like what they're talking about. So like yes but no in terms of like I see all of his things and look at them, but it's just dependent on the person what they talk about if I actually listen.
Yeah, I only really listen because I used to be, when I used to travel for a kid, I used to have Joe Rogan on all the time. It didn't matter who it was. But after a little while I just got sort of stale. You know, he would always talk about the same things.
Yeah.
But I'll hop in whenever he has a guest that I like the Adam Sandler or whatever it is. But apparently, and I don't have the pulse on this, but apparently he's really shifted his political, like he's really chosen his political stance.
Oh yeah.
There's been a lot of YouTube stuff about that.
Yeah, he has, but I feel like I don't know, like yes and no. Like you definitely know he's like voting for Trump and thinks the Democrats are messed up and all that stuff, but I feel like it's not like, I don't know, I just don't really like when people get all political about stuff. I have my thoughts and opinions, so I just kind of like hear it but don't like take too much of it in. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he's any different than he's always been, so I think that hearing that it's probably like maybe it's a bit more like that, but I think he's always just been like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. I just strongly think that at this point there's just no democracy.
He's not really being duplicitous or anything. He just switched up his political stance, or just
no. He's just more like I think he's just more open about it because
that makes sense. I mean,
yeah, like
he's got FU money now.
Yeah, he's got FU money, and quite frankly, I think it is hilarious. Like the Twitter files, no one will read them because everyone hates Elon Musk, therefore Twitter. But the Twitter files like radically expose that a whole bunch of governments and corporations and 3-letter agencies like CIA and stuff were directly messaging the heads of all these social media places being like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. But the way they were saying it, they weren't saying it like, don't do this, we don't like Donald Trump. They were saying, don't do this, this is national security issues. And you can go read it all. There's so much of it, right?
Yeah.
That it's just kind of like, I feel like people that are like, oh, Joe Rogan and his views. I'm like, yeah, but you're obviously just don't like what he's saying, and you're probably listening to something that has just as air quotes radical views. It's just you agree with them, so you don't. And then you hear Joe speak, you go, oh, this guy's got to be deplatformed. But it's like everyone's just so in love with their side, and they can't accept like other people's side. So I don't think it's any different now.
Oh, okay.
At all.
Okay.
I a little bit, but no. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I still find him entertaining. You know, I think he has a place in whatever sphere he's in. You know, the one thing I do enjoy that he's getting really behind is the open comedy for everybody, because I really, really, really am hardline in that either everything is on the table or nothing is on the table. You know, because just because something is offensive, it doesn't make it okay. But in the context of comedy, you either laugh at everything and don't engage in the things you don't like, or nothing.
Yeah, I
nothing
agree.
is on the table.
I feel like the people that get offended over that stuff isn't even the party being attacked, which is dumb.
Yeah,
so,
it's like someone that's...
It's not your place. Like, I find jokes about Filipinos funny sometimes.
I find them so funny. But we Filipinos like to make fun of each other regardless.
But, I'm just saying, like...
No, but it's true. Yeah. It's kind of like the Inuits here, like the Eskimos here. So there used to be the Edmonton Eskimos in the CFL.
Oh, they're not anymore?
They're not the Edmonton Eskimos anymore because that's, like, racist and offensive.
And
then they went up to, like, the Inuit people and were like, what do you think of the Edmonton Eskimos? And they all loved it because they're like, yeah, it's us. We're that, like, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, it got canceled. And the people instantly were like, why? And I bet you it was, like, some corporate people, a whole bunch of stupid white people that went to university and, like, are like, I feel bad about something that I was taught in a class. And I don't know. It's just, the woke culture is a very specific demographic. They don't know it, but it is. It is.
But, I don't know. It's similar to that. Do you remember that kid last year that cheered on the Chiefs? So there was this little kid. Yes. Yeah, you remember this, right? Yeah. But it's similar to that. And then it turns out that kid was actually native.
Like, and he had, all it was if you took a picture from the right, his face is black. If you took it from the rest, it's the rest of the Chiefs colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I do think
though,
but like, I do think with all this stuff, it's like, my boss told me this, and I think my boss is a really smart dude. He said that what he's found is that all this stuff, as we all know, but he's experienced by living and being alive longer, is he's like, it's just the pendulum swings. And I do think that, like, because I genuinely thought, like, for a while there, I was like, am I going crazy? I feel like you and me talked about this, like,
all the time.
I always felt like I was, like, on this island, but now it seems to be like sanity, in my perspective, is coming back to the table. So
it is really cool that, I mean, obviously I didn't know, but like a lot of the friends that you hung out with outside of the circle are very leaning towards our ideologies, you know. Like, I think that's why Armand and I get along really well.
Armand's
like,
crazy, yeah.
When I hung out with him, or like I ever talked to him, because I'm in a group chat right now with all the guys that signed up for the season tickets for the Canucks.
Nice.
Right? And they'll start jokes, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
this is us. Okay. All right. I'm right down this alley.
Yeah. I genuinely, again, going back to like cell phones, social media, algorithms, all that crap, I genuinely think there's a large part of like, and I'm seeing it more now, because I was like so entrenched in it. I think I was like super hardcore conspiracy theorist, like all the wackoest stuff. Is when you're in it, I think people don't realize, but like, there's just the internet and all that stuff isn't real. And then you start getting in arguments about things you see on the internet that are like subversive tactics from governments or agencies or corporations. And they're not these things of like, let's fucking turn the world against each other, and again, we're a cabal. It's just like people trying to do things for their own special interest that like make an amalgamation of things happen.
Yeah.
And anyone listening to this is a friend, like knows someone of us. Everyone knows this when I say this, so it's not going to be like this, like, wow, Derek's some philosopher. When you go and meet up with people you are friends with, and you discuss anything that you may be polarizing disagreements on, you don't usually, in very, very few cases, do you walk out of there like, fuck that person. Most of the time you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know. I just talk about you behind your back.
Oh, well, that's fine. It's okay. I got a big back. I'm a strong believer, and I like, this is part of why I like the podcast. We've been talking for an hour and a half now, and
about anything and everything.
And it's the phones haven't been involved, minus like, of course, we've looked up a few things and that stuff, but
we're like Cabal.
But we're not like on it, like actively on our phone as we're hanging out. And I think that instantly, as soon as we take these microphones away, would become a thing, and that's just natural.
Oh yeah, how much you want to bet? I'm just not going to touch my phone for the rest of the weekend.
I bet Luca. I bet Luca for free.
You can never have Luca.
Yeah, you have to trade Luca to tap.
Okay, fine. If that's a bet, then you have to give me Wemby. If I don't touch my phone for the rest of the weekend, you have to give me Wemby. I'll do it right now.
Wait. We have to first off.
I'm not doing that.
Before you do
his bet was that if I touch my phone for the rest of the weekend, I have to give him Luca for free. So I'm saying the opposite. Fine, I will agree to that. But if I successfully not touch my phone for the rest of the weekend,
I'm not doing that.
You have to give me Wemby for free.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
But if I come in here as a third option,
then we take. Then you and I will split Wemby in half. You can have him for 1 week.
I know. I want his rebounds. You can have his other stuff.
No, I'll trade him to you week 1, and then you have to trade him back to me week 2.
Deal. But Tep's not allowed to veto.
Yeah.
Everyone else can, but Tep. Tep, I'm in.
Yeah, shake your hands.
No.
Do you think you could go an entire week without your cell phone?
I really think I could. I think I could.
I mean, nobody really gets in contact with me, so probably.
I think I could. I think if I was told, hey Dax, like, can you please get off your phone for a week? I think I would set everything I needed to do on my phone, mostly fantasy, into play, and then I would. If I was told, like, obviously if Sarah...
You can use it, and you can use your computer.
Yeah,
but it's just not your phone.
But if Sarah knew that, like, hey, like, I'm not going to have my phone at all, right? I'm turning my phone off for the week, right? I honestly think I believe I could do it. Because even, again, like I told you, when I went to go see... I'll do it with you.
I'm down to. Like, I actually think, as I said it as, like, a dare thing, but I actually think I might want to do that.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
Because, like, you just say, like, all I'd say is to... basically leave my mom and my work that I'm not going to have my phone for a week. And anyone else is trying to contact me.
But if there's an emergency, though?
What who's going to want to contact me about 9/11 2.0?
Yeah. Because I don't know. Like I said, like if there's a reciprocal person with me, not just you per se, like when I went to go visit Zach, there were large pockets of time where just I wasn't on my phone. Mm-hmm. Like I would literally put my phone on the counter. I'd text Sarah. I put my phone down, and then Ben would go like, "Hey, do you want to play a game?" Or like Iz would be like, "Hey, you want to do this?" Or Liv would be like, "Do you want to do this?" And then you just get caught up in doing X amount of time for hours. So I really think a lot of the time, and the product of me being on my phone is just there's nothing to fill. That makes sense?
Yeah, I agree. But then I feel like what happens is that idea of nothing to fill starts taking up time when you actually could fill it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I could fill it with something, but I'm like, well, it's easier to just go on my phone.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that too. I actually think that would be so nice because I genuinely think that I'm like a bug to a bug light. Have you heard this saying diabetes type 3?
No.
Okay, so there's a new thing going around. I think it's going to become accepted like medicine within the next like 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. Is diabetes type 3 is Alzheimer's.
Oh crap!
And basically,
crazy.
It's what it's saying is like people get Alzheimer's dementia. It's you've got too much sugar, and instead of like diabetes, is your pancreas doesn't produce it exhausts the insulin production, mm-hmm. right? So you get type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And it's basically stating that type 3 diabetes is Alzheimer's dementia, and it's from the same idea as what happens to your pancreas, but within your brain, and that's why you lose it. So that's type 3, and again, that's not official science yet, but it's like it is being peer reviewed, so it's in the works. So you're gonna hear soon enough whether that's true or not, but it is in the works. But I do think
it's actually been out for a while now too. 3 years.
Yeah. So it is. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think it would actually be really cool if you wanted to set some ground rules of like phone use.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say, for example, I know we use our phones for music at the gym.
Yeah.
But if there's some way you could use it, not a non-device, and you could work out.
That's what I do. That's what I, because quite frankly, I mostly text you.
Yeah. And then so like that, like take that away.
If you had a freaking iPod Shuffle, that would be so clutch right now.
Yeah, they're so expensive.
Of course, they're
so expensive because they don't make them anymore, right? And the iTunes actual app is like is gone now. Do you remember when we were growing up?
Yeah, it's Apple Music, right?
Yeah, you don't have like the actual iPhone, like iTunes app anymore or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Apple Music, where you could like load music onto like this thing from before.
Yeah, it's been absorbed to music.
I one thing I've thought is actually might be one of the best purchases is you get yourself the watch, and then you pay the extra $15 on your phone a month to get the watch as your phone. Because if you have the iWatch, you have to have your phone like within radius. But if you pay $15 to your service provider, your phone becomes your watch. So you actually can access like Spotify, every single thing that's your phone. Because I think you're right. If I could get away so that I could get podcasts and music off, like I didn't need that, I think my phone use would just.
Yeah, I think it'd be a cool thought experiment to keep it honest. If we had a log, like if like a piece of paper, so you wouldn't have to do it on this thing, where if you're using your phone like as a tick, you have to just put down duration.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to just like on our system see if we can track and keep each other accountable over a period of time.
Let's do it. I want to do.
When do you want to start? Do you want to just start?
No, I don't want to start right now. That's why I want to look because I've got a few things that I want to see. This is the problem. Like you just start making excuses. What if we did it the weekend after the hockey pod?
How about October 1st? You get 1 month to get it all out of your system, prep everything, and then we start limiting our phone use. Period. Like limiting. Like durational limitation of your phone.
I'm down to do it after the 10th.
Okay.
The reason being, no, after your bachelor party.
Okay.
The reason being, the Juliet's birthday, since we're away for your bachelor party.
Yeah.
Juliet's birthday weekend's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday before.
Okay.
Her actual birthday is the 10th.
Yeah.
And then we have your bachelor party.
Okay.
So why don't we detox off your bachelor party?
Sure.
I'm so down for that.
Okay. I might even just start as much as possible now, just to start weaning everything off.
I mean, I could do it. Why don't we just do it next week? Want to just start on Monday?
Yeah,
let's on Sunday. We'll talk about the ground rules and do that.
Okay.
I'm super down.
Agreed. Let's do it.
Because I'm actually like, dude, like I'm gonna show you my phone right now. I literally have. This is all I have. So I use my notes. All I do with my notes is I open them and I write down like random thoughts. Like you guys just kind of saw there. I'll just have random obscure things. And then I have this, which pretty much I've actually archived most of our chats just because
Whoa!
Yeah.
I've literally done the exact same thing.
So all my chats are more archived. The ones that I have are more so like
I've done the exact same thing.
Then I have this, which really, honestly, the only thing I actually use it for is my Urban Rec League.
Yeah.
And then my emails and this stupid thing here, like this like side scroll.
My honestly thing that I would struggle the most with is YouTube.
See, I'm using YouTube mostly on my PS, which is nice. But yeah, YouTube social media.
I used to think no because I justified it to myself how I have to find a video and then I have to engage with it and I'm actually watching something and I'm learning. But then I've noticed that I'm super obsessed with like looking through the comments. Right?
Okay, see, I don't do any of that.
Yeah, but then the thing is with YouTube is like you'll watch a video and then there'll be another video recommended and there'll be like a video recommended from that. Yeah. And so I think it counts, man.
What do you think?
I think it is. They're shorts.
Yeah, I think it's the shorts are just Instagram now.
Well, because
vlogs are just pretty much long form stories.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like I don't really watch the shorts. I'm not gonna lie and say I don't watch them, but I don't go on there and scroll shorts. Like if I'm scrolling through and I see like Chad Gable anterior deltoid workout, obviously I'm gonna look it up, but look at that short. But I'm not like too into the shorts. I don't ever look at comments. Like I'm never into that.
And there's like likes, comments,
but
subscribers.
I don't do any of that. Like I subscribe, but I just watch the videos. But the thing for me that made me feel like it is, I do agree with you guys, by the way. I don't disagree. But the thing that, so for me, I'm just I'm just watching videos. But as soon as you pull up my YouTube here, you'll instantly see that like the videos I'm watching are the videos of like, what's his name? Penguin Zio and Oompaville, who literally all they do is gossip about things that are on the internet
or watch
videos.
You watch them play games.
Yeah, so all of a sudden I was like this guy is literally, Oompaville is basically Penguin Zio.
Okay.
Right? And then I was like sitting there, Sunny V2, he just
Sunny.
Yeah, see, but you know, they're just, all they're doing is gossiping. So I was like, fuck, like I'm not even out of it, even though I claim to be out of it.
Yeah. I love YouTube, man.
I do too.
So I think, to be honest with you, it'd actually be so good to just turn this off. Part of me too is like, I hate how the first thing I want to do in the morning is like look at my phone. I hate that.
I hate that
right before I go to bed, the last thing I do is go on my phone. I hate that when I'm going to the bathroom, my instinct is to bring my phone with me so I can read the news. Mm-hmm. I hate that when I'm in an elevator or if I'm just hanging out, I'll pull up my phone to game. Like I can't just sit and do something without being on my phone. Absolutely. I can't be in a car with someone and have a conversation without being on my phone. You know what I mean? Like absolutely. I can't give you the 10-15 minutes it takes to Costco to have a conversation with you. I think I have to pull up whatever I'm doing on my phone, whether it's Reddit or Blockdoku. Mm-hmm. I just think it's so ridiculous that we spend so much time with people, and a lot of the time it's filtered in front of a screen. Yeah, I agree, and I just find it weird. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that I again, like when I say this, I don't say this in like people are sheep, like the conspiracy theory style. I think like people just kind of like, they kind of like just do some, maybe drone's a better word for it. And so like I constantly hear people come in and talk about how they're like I'm referring to clients, they're like, it's I don't have friends, or like I don't see people, all these things that are like antisocial, like this sucks that I don't have this. And then I'll talk to them about their social media and be like, well, why with social media? And they're always like have excuses as to why they want to keep it. And I feel like that's part of the problem with it all, is like you just listen now, notice it every time you talk to anyone about cell phone stuff, notice everyone has an excuse as to why they're going to keep their cell phone. Mm-hmm. And yeah, dude, I really want to do that. I don't have an excuse. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just addicted to it. Yeah, me too. I don't have an excuse. Me too. I'm so bad. Like YouTube is my number one most used app on this, and I will literally just pull it up to just watch like nothing to contribute to my life. Like I'll just watch it and be like, just mindless, droneless watching of YouTube, you know? So next week, we are on Monday starting. Yeah. So let's start with 1 week, and I'm gonna... what's the... You know how they tell you at the end of the week how many hours you use per day? Yeah. What's the minimum we want to try to get this into? Well, or we can think about this over the weekend. Yeah, we can think about it. I'm just thinking maybe let's wrap the pod up. We're almost at 2 hours here. Okay. And we'll talk about all this stuff because, yeah, I think that's a good thing to do. I genuinely feel like I'm a drug addict where I'm like trying to get off the drugs. 100%. And I'm trying to get off the drugs, but it's so hard. And like, even I'm like, yo, like I don't want to do this, but I keep just looking at my phone. So I think this will be an interesting next step of it all. It honestly, it sucks to me because like, for me, it's so frustrating because I'll look around and I'll see people on their phone and I'll be so frustrated. I'm like, oh, why are you on your phone? And then I can't call them out on it because I'm literally doing the exact same thing. Right? It's so awful. Like I just hate how cognizant I am. I hate how cognizant I am that the addiction is there, and I hate how much it irritates me that other people are doing it. And then I make an excuse that I'm like, oh, I'm actually like reading an article, or I'm like actually using my phone for something. But like, it's just an excuse, you know. I can't be in a room with you and have to be on my phone to interact with you. Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know. And again, like I can see just by the way you're talking about it, you feel the same as me. It sucks. I hate it. I feel really so much. Unwell using my phone, but I don't think unwell is the right word to use because as much as it is, because when people think of unwell, they think of you like rubbing, like blowing your nose, like, oh, I don't feel good. But I'm like, no, it's this different thing. It feels terrible. But it's funny you say that though, because if you really think about it, like when you're playing soccer, are you playing soccer and like on the top of your head, you're like, oh, I can't wait to check my phone after. Do you know what I mean? Like
never, ever,
when
never.
When I'm at the gym, or I mean, I guess the gym's awful because I have my phone beside me. But if I'm like playing sports.
How about in the moment of exercising?
Yeah,
not when you're in between.
I'm not sitting there and going thinking like, oh, I need to check my phone right now.
Yeah.
But you'll see it. I'll do it at the gym all the time. I'll finish a set and I'll be like, what's on my phone?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I hate it.
And it's so frustrating. Like I just can't. But I do think that like if you're in the middle of activity or if you're engaged with something, the person or whoever you're engaging with, there has to be a reciprocal.
Yes.
Yeah, I get conscious of that. Like we were watching like I don't know, like Superstore earlier.
Yeah.
And I'm just on my phone and like you're asking me like, hey, did you see that tip or like something?
Yeah.
I'm like I feel guilty because I'm like I'm supposed to enjoy like watch the show with you.
Yeah. Or
Like,
if we're gaming, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I pick up on it a lot, but again, I don't call people out on it because I think it'd just be hypocritical.
Yeah, because you're not better. Like
I'm not better
does.
than you.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I'm noticing it a lot more, but part of it because I'm starting to become super ashamed of like how much I use my phone.
Mm-hmm. I fully agree. Like that's one thing that, like to your saying about like that, or like where you're saying about like, yo, do you see that?
We're in the same room. Like, dude, we're doing something together.
Dude,
like,
this is fucked. But there was a Netflix show, and my client was telling me about it, and it was out for 3 seasons, and they loved it. They were like, "Oh, the show's like my new show that I was so into," and then it just deadpan was done. There was no like. There was like you're waiting for season 4 to come out. 3 was priming for season 4, and it stopped. And they looked into why they like cut production on the show, and it was because it was defined as a 1-screen show, meaning if you were watching it, you had to pay attention to what was going on in the screen to understand the plot, as opposed to a 2nd screen show is one where like let's say for example, I think it's why The Office might have become as popular as it is and again, I love The Office, so I'm not like shitting on it saying this is why cell phones, but like you can watch The Office for 5 seconds, go on your phone for 25 minutes and look back up and know exactly what's going on because it's a 2nd screen. And that's why they cut the show. And I was just like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, that's fucked up that people are like, yo, you're really good story. It's too much. We just need more of like some guy gets a chick and they fall in love.
Well, people can't watch movies anymore. And like, I love movies, but I have such a difficult time talking to people about movies that I love now because I'll recommend something or I'll watch it with them and we'll go through a whole movie and I'll be like, yo, did you catch that? And I'll be like, no. Or a coworker, like he'll say like, oh, yo, I just watched this. Like you recommended it to me. It was really good. I'm like, let's talk about it when we get back. And I'm like, hey, like, did you like this? And he's like, oh, I was like on my phone through the movie. And I'm like, well, did you watch the movie? Like, what was the point? Like, I can't have a conversation with you. Or even like, I don't know, man. I'm so guilty of it too. But part of it is like, if I'm watching a brand new movie, like I want to be locked in. If I'm watching a movie for the 2nd time, I'll like, be on my phone. But then at the same time, it's like encouraging whoever I'm watching it with to also be on their phone.
Yeah.
So there's just like this like cyclical nature of like, dude, like you're not any better. Like why are you?
Well, and how isn't that actually a thing? So you're watching the show, and you look over and you see Dax on on his phone. You're probably more inclined to now go on your phone, not because you're like fuck Dax, he's on his phone. It's because you're like, okay, cool, I want it to go on my phone too. And all it really took was you
type thing.
Yeah, like all it really took was you being on your phone for me to be like sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on my phone.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Wild,
it's wild, dude. It's really freaking wild. But yeah, I if you're listening still, Joach, I strongly want to actually be someone that like puts this out there because I'm trying my best for it. I promise you, on the outside of being on your phone a lot and having social media is better. There's temptation, you feel like you're missing out, but as I get farther and farther from being on it, I just feel better and better. So to all our listeners, get off your phone, accept this. This is your 2 hours a week of phone.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.